Hi. BDS, the stream is starting right now. It's starting right now. Thank you so much for summoning me. That only works if you are full capital, you know? So just like BDS did, or what is it? B4DS. Yeah, you just got to type all caps and I appear. Welcome, everyone. Some news. My chair is broken. So every once in a while, I have to bring it back up in order to be at an appropriate height. So there we are. Welcome. I hope I'm going to take these off because I'm not even listening to anything. I don't want to lie to you. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad that everybody's here. You know, we got some members in chat. Just don't fall off of it. Well, honestly, if I fell off of it, I would not be, you know, the distance of me to the ground. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways, here's the Army List review show, folks. I'm glad you are all here. Happy Monday. I spent the weekend at a teams tournament, and I would like to apologize to you. I did not run Tyranids. I was on GSE. I voted for cheeseburger, by the way. Please make sure you voted in the poll as you come on in, after you've liked and subscribed and everything. Anyways, if you're new to this, this is the Army List review show where I look at Tyranid Army lists. And we have a pretty good queue going on if you're a member. Thank you for your support. And you get a little bit of priority in it. There's a post on HiveMind Hobbies. Here, let me show you guys, because it was very funny. I posted last night to advertise the stream. And I said, don't put your list here. Let's see if here we go to this seed. I said, don't put your list here. LOL. The first comment immediately was a list. So don't put it on any of the advertisement things. I know it could be a little confusing. Put your list on the post that says submit your list here. And this is where I do it. I just like to keep it a little bit organized so that I can keep track of who posted first. If there's different things, then it's tough. Ozolith, I grabbed your list, so I'm going to remove it here. If you are a member, I grab your list first, and then I go from sort new, and I go all the way down. I don't know if you guys just saw it, but my chair sank down about 6 inches, so pretty spooky. Thank you again, everybody, for being in here. We're going to get right into it. Our first list is from our incredible member here, Ozolith. He is in chat. So thank you for being in chat, and thank you for supporting the channel and doing all those cool things. Also, if my voice or volume, let me know how it sounded in chat, because last time I got a comment that I was too far to the left, like this. Anyways, moving on. We've got Subterranean Assault. Very cool stuff from Ozolith. Let's take a look. I think the first character got cut off. Character 2, hold on, give me a second. Oh, no, never mind. Sorry, sometimes when I forget what this format is this new recruit? Sometimes I forget that it orders it. Yes, Ozolith, I will. So we have a Broodlord, we have a Neurotyrant, we have a Swarm Lord, very neat, and Subterranean Assault. And Trigon Prime. Trigon Prime, I think you just kind of like, most of the time you auto-include in Subterranean Assault. I think it is very good. Then 2 squads of Gargoyles. Again, the way I copied and pasted this is a little disjunct. Biovore. 10 Gene Stealers. Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn Emissary, Raveners, and Tyrannifex with Rupture Cannon, of course, and then 6 Zoanthropes to hang out with the Neurotyrant. And Ozolith was telling me that he's doing a challenge with this list where he's going to do 5 games. He's playing 5 games, I think he said, against 5 different armies before he changes it. And I actually really like that kind of idea. Because, like, through variance and through, like, different styles of play, you're not really going to be able to understand how 1 or 2 units function in a way, just off of one game. Like, I mean, obviously there's different things, like, whatever. Sometimes you can tell right off the bat if a unit is just bad and you just don't want to use it. But oftentimes it will take a couple of games in order to, like, accumulate an averages of different things, and then to kind of go from there. So I like this list. I think this list is pretty good. It checks a lot of boxes. The thing that I'm not, like, super keen on, and maybe people have used them to better success in Subterranean Assault, is the Gene Stealers. I just don't feel like they mesh very well with the rest of Subterranean Assault. I mean, but if you get them into combat, it's pretty good, right? But I just don't feel like they're gaining too much out of Subterranean Assault. Like a 6-inch charge with 10 Gene Stealers and Broodlord, yeah, that's good. I'm not arguing with anybody on that. I think that's very good. But I don't think that they are necessarily something that really loves Subterranean Assault. In the sense, am I? Okay, good. So anyways, I like the idea of just doing 5 games with this and then coming up with it. A couple of units that I would probably key in on and seeing if I'm liking it or not would be Gene Stealers and maybe the Norn. I have a love, I don't even want to say hate, but I have a love indifferent relationship with the Norn Emissary. I think, like, on paper, the Norn Emissary is really good in Subterranean Assault, right? It hits on 2s, reroll 1s to hit all the time, and you can pop up anywhere and just be anywhere you want with the Norn Emissary. That's pretty sweet. But I think oftentimes in practice, it's a little bit rough. I also think we're light on burrowing units, right? Like, I would probably, if I was dropping the Gene Stealers, which me personally, I would. If I was dropping the Gene Stealers, I would probably drop the Gene Stealers for at least one more squad of Raveners. And then you have 80 points left over. I don't know, maybe like Death Leaper or something. So those are just my takeaways. I don't want to suggest anything too much because I know you're going to play 5 games with it before you change it, which I think is a phenomenal idea. I think that's really good. I think oftentimes we get too indebted in into one game, and then we let that change everything. Did I take out the Broodlord? No, it's up here. Just my pasting was strange. There he is. But yeah, I would be interested to see how the Gene Stealers work. And Waffle in chat is saying, I like Gene Stealers because they can carve out space and control the board a bit before the rest arrive. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good thing. I like that too. I actually really like Maleceptors and Subterranean Assault. I think they're pretty good. I think they get a lot of support from that, from Subterranean Assault, because they want to be places, you know, and then ignore cover. So for me, Ozolith, if you're thinking like preliminary things, yeah, taking out Gene Stealers and the Broodlord for Raveners, which I believe you would have 95 points left over. So you could like Death Leaper is cool. I don't know if it's just kind of doing it just to fill the points though. 115. I mean, something that might be cool is just add like another dumb melee threat or something. Like if you changed, oh wait, hold up. This is going to be weird, you know, if you know me. If you changed both of these gargoyles to Hormagaunts, that would be plus 40 points, so 135. Then at that point, you could add in a Screamer Killer. I think that would be pretty cool. And then you still have 2 Hormagaunts. I think that would be pretty cool. Because I just think, like, if you had one more unit that is like, oh my gosh, please don't put that through a tunnel, that might be good. Or like a Harspex as well. I think it'd be good. But like, I mean, if you run this 5 times and you're like, yeah, this list is good, then list is good. What's my opinion on the new Tyranid Prime? All right, everybody. Here's my new opinion. Here's my opinion on Tyranid Prime. And this is a little bit of a I'm going to make a video on it, of course. I was just at a tournament. This is my new opinion on the Tyranid Prime. Ready? You heard it here, chat. It's my opinion on the Tyranid Prime. I'm half joking. I think, I don't know. I'll post a video on it. And we'll see, but it's just like yes, Hormagaunts can get lethals and sustain and invasion fleet, and they blood surge. But I don't know. Yeah, Waffle, I agree. Like here's the thing: if the Tyranid Prime is like 50 points, right? If it's something, if it's like something like super cheap, it's like 50 points. Maybe it's good, but like I want an ability like dev wounds or something, or lethals all the time. I don't know, or fall back and charge would be pretty boring. I think it's boring. Ozolith, I like your challenge, man. I think I need to be doing that a little bit more. And I think everybody in Warhammer needs to do it a little bit more. I think if you do 5 games with a list, then you can really learn about it, learn how to play, and then change it. So it's good. And thank you for your support, man. Moving right on. We have our second member of today. Cummins Crawler. The spice. I don't know what it is. Cummins Crawler. Is a member. He said, here's my list I took to a recent RTT. Surprise. Samuel L. Jackson's favorite word. Subterranean Assault. Very good name. I do think Cummins Crawler is going to be in the lead for the name championship right now. We have Neurotyrant with Tremor Sense. I truly think that Tremor Sense is just, if you're smarter about your deployment, you oftentimes don't need Tremor Sense. Old One Eye, Swarm Lord, Trigon Prime, very cool. Gargoyles, Biovore, 2 Carnifexes, super sweet. And what he's got full melee. I would encourage you to do like the Crushing Claws and then Death Spitters. I ran that once and I thought that combo was pretty good. Oh, what's up, Kyle, dude? Oh no, the stream's going downhill as soon as Kyle joins. No, but I like the Crushing Claws, and then I think the Death Spitter is a pretty good use of points with the Carnifexes. And instead of the extra Scything Talons, because you only get 2 extra attacks a piece, and I would rather for my Subterranean Assault units to be able to do like multiple different things. So it would be 2 different things. I did get Best in Faction Genestealer Cult. Thank you, Kyle. The trophy is in the other room. I haven't unpacked it yet, but I did get Best in Faction Genestealer Cult. I was also the only Genestealer Cult player there, but I had the courage to bring them to an event, and they were a lot of fun. And I think I'm actually going to be probably playing Final Day for the rest of the edition. We'll see. After the Carnifexes, we have an Exocrine, 5 Genestealers. See, I actually think I like 5 Genestealers in Subterranean Assault more than I like than 10 Genestealers, which is weird to say, but I think that's where I'm at. 2 Lictors, Neurogons, one of my favorite units for sure in Subterranean Assault. I like them a lot because they just screen out backfield, only 45 points. 2x5 Raveners, Tyrannifex with Rupture Cannon, and Zoanthropes. Yeah, dude, this list is sick. This is really cool. I do like it. I think if we had room for like one more Gargoyle squad, that would be cool. You could do something like drop the Gargoyles, change them to Hormagaunts. That's twice in a row, chat, that I have said drop Gargoyles. And like change the Neurogons into Hormagaunts, and you have 2 Hormagaunt screens. That could be sweet. I think that could be cool. But like, I hate to say like no notes, but if you're bringing the Carnifex brick, I think you're going to land on a list like this. Another thing that I go between is like Zoanthropes versus just 2 Tyrannifexes, and then you use the 105 points for more stuff. I go back and forth on that. My knee-jerk reaction is I probably like 2 Rupture Cannons more than Zoanthropes, but who knows, Also, Tremor Senses. You could get rid of Tremor Senses, keep the Gargoyle squad, and then upgrade the Neurogons to Hormagaunts. That's another thing that I would do. If you're careful about your deployment, you oftentimes don't need Tremor Senses at all. But I really like this list. I think this list is cool, and I like Carnifexes too. And I do want to run a couple of Carnifexes as well within Subterranean Assault. But they are a lot of points. So if you're running them, it's kind of like, ooh, it's tough. Any tips for someone trying to pick up a 80 Termagant Sam Pope style list? Apart from don't. Yeah, I would, the one thing is like time. Like everybody's talking about how much time you're going to be spend moving everything. Oftentimes you don't, especially if you're in a tournament and you're worried about the clock, don't shoot the stuff that isn't really, really going to matter. Like, do you really need to shoot all of your Spine Fists every single turn? And if you do, then maybe have a system where you have like a cup of dice set aside and you just like re-rack the dice while your opponent's taking their turn or something, and know that each cup is 20 20 dice, you know, and just like when it's time for you to do that, go Waffle. I think I've seen people like on both sides of the coin with movement trays. I've heard people think that it actually takes longer to move because then you got to move the movement trays, and then when it's time for them to get into their formation, you've got to take them out, et cetera, et cetera. Another thing that my buddy Tucker, who's a very good player, and he's been running a lot of horde lists, is you have to have a plan. Because if you don't have a direct plan, a lot of your time you're going to be spending is actually just thinking of what you're doing. But with horde lists, I think they pretty much want to do like one thing. You want to dominate primary and board control. So if you create your plan around dominating primary and board control, and you just push up the field, and you know this unit is staged to go here, this unit is staged to go here, yada yada yada, then oftentimes your decision making is really it's not that much, especially with horde units, because they're not going to do a whole lot of damage. So oftentimes your activations are going to be pretty self-explanatory. And also invest in an airbrush, and don't be perfect with every single painted model. I think the quicker you paint with an airbrush and you get just an overall scheme, it's going to look cool because they all match rather than the fine details of each of the model. I hope that makes sense. And thanks for hanging out. And Natural 20, you did make it to a live stream. Thank you. Do I think Subterranean Assault is now better than Invasion? Me, personally, no. I don't think so. I personally lean more towards Invasion Fleet. I really do like Invasion Fleet. But there's been a lot of people who have had like a lot of really good tournament success with Subterranean Assault. So it could be kind of like a little bit of a play preference and play style. And that can kind of influence you a whole bunch. Oh, your color scheme can't use an airbrush at all? Yeah, that's tough. This is our third list, I believe. This is Risher Apocalypse. He says, hey, just getting back into Tyranids. I'm glad I found your channel. Thank you, Risher. I'm glad you found our channel too, and I'm glad you're hanging out with us. It's a very simple list. It's Invasion Fleet, Hive Tyrant, Mirror Tyrant, 10 Gargoyles, 10 Hormagaunts, 20 Termagants, Biovorn, 2 Lictors, 2 Neurolictors, 2 Exocrines, a Haruspex, 2 Maliceptors, and 2 Tyrannofexes. Yeah, I like it. I think the only thing that's like questionable is like the Haruspex. Right? So that's 125 points. I would like either one more Hormagaunt squad or an additional Gargoyle squad, you know? Or honestly, like this Haruspex to become an Exocrine. More Gene Stealers. I agree. That is generally my go-to. But I think this list is good as well. And I've kind of like come around on the single 20-man Termagant brick, especially because Catan. Man, I went into Catan twice during this team's event because I don't know if Kyle's still here. Kyle was on my team. My teammates were like, oh, I don't want to go into Necrons. That's what they said. They didn't want to go into Necrons. So I was like, okay, I'll go into Necrons twice. And it was tough. But I did not like that. But I think the Termagants are pretty good. Call me for Custody Kyle. Kyle was on town. He played Custodies 4 out of 5 games, which is wild. And he won 3 out of 4. It's pretty good. You can't ask for much more, truly. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I like this list. I think this is good. I think there's also an argument that you don't need the third Lictor. Like, you don't need that Neurolictor. You got there eventually, Kyle. So, like, if we combine the Neurolictor and the Haruspex, that is 195 points. So that's kind of where I would go. You know what'd be cool? Like triple Maliceptor. Or if we did 195 points, got an Exocrine, Swarm Lord. I like Hive Tyrant. I don't know if this has enhancement. Okay, so here's what we do, right? Boom. Cut the Harspecs, cut the Neurolictor, 195 points. Doot, doot. And then I don't think he has the enhancement for Adaptive Biology. Adaptive Biology. That's 25 points. And then we have 170 points. And then we just do a third Maleceptor. I think triple Maleceptor is pretty good. I was running it for a while. I mean, some people just cannot deal with Maleceptors, and then you just out OC them and win the game, right? But Timu Norns. Timu Norns was the name of the list that I ran for a while. Brewlord plus KO. What is that? I don't want to change the list too much. Like third Exo or third Male. Yeah, I think third Maleceptor fits pretty nicely. And if you did a third Exocrine, then you could do like Neurogonts instead. Yeah. Yeah, triple Maleceptor, double Rupture Effects is pretty spooky. And then the Exocrines just kind of support and let the Maleceptors and Tyranid effects activate even better. Seems good. And then we have like pretty good mission play with 2 Lictors and all the objective control with the Hormigons and Termagants. Cool stuff. Moving right along. Cat Daddy Spencer. Hi, Jordan. Love the channel. Just a couple of weeks ago, I took this list to the Texas Open, my first major RGT, and went 3-3 with it. I did experiment with a couple of Norns at first, but they proved to be not as durable as I hoped. Yes. I would love your feedback on how I could improve this list for my next RTT. Old One Eye is in the tunnel. Is this like a cheeky, maybe this is in the lead for best list name of the day. Subterranean Assault. We got Hyperdaptives, Old One Eye, Swarmlord, Trigon Prime. Pretty good. 2 Gargoyle Squads, Biovore, Carnifex. Let's see what he's got. So he's got Scything Talons, Heavy Venom Cannon, Crushing Claws, Stranglethorn. I would encourage you to do Crushing Claws and then Death Spitters on both of them. And then keep all the extra guns and stuff. This is a cool loadout too, but I think the Carnifexes, because they hit on 4s, I think you want just number of shots. And they're actually a pretty good combo too, because they'll be attached to Old One Eye. You bring them out, you do the Inflating Emergence stratagem, right? So they have Sustain, Ignore Cover, and then full rerolls with Old One Eye, and then with the Death Spitters, you can get a bunch of Sustain, and then that stratagem allows you to keep Sustain throughout the rest of the turn. So when they make their charge, then they get Sustain on their Crushing Claws. So like only 4 attacks, kind of, 4 attacks, re-roll everything, and Sustain. That's pretty good. It's not bad, So I would encourage you try that combo. I think it's pretty sweet. 1 Exocrine, 1 Harspecs, Lictor, Maleceptor, Raveners, Tyranid effects. So let's take a look. I think we only have Hyperdapted and Raveners. We got Hyperdaptive and Raveners and Trigon Prime. So the thing is, like, in my opinion, and they have Tremor Senses too. Okay. I don't think Hyperdaptives, almost to a point, don't really count for a Burrower unit. And in a very similar vein, Trigons don't actually count for Burrower units, because like when I'm calculating Burrower units, I'm calculating these units to set up the tunnel and then have other things jump out of them. In my opinion, Hyperdapted Raveners, you want them to be the ones jumping out of the tunnel. Like, you don't really want them to be setting up the tunnel, because I don't know, they're going to be 9 inches away. Now, you could rapid ingress them for free, and then they set up the tunnel during your opponent's turn, and then you could have something jump out through that, and then your Hyperdaptive Raveners could then also charge something, because they'll be 9 inches away. That's a pretty good play pattern, and maybe that's what Cat Daddy Spencer is trying to do. But otherwise, I would just have 2 Raveners, right? So I do like this list. My knee jerk, because of what I just said, would probably be like dropping the Harspecs for 5 more Raveners and seeing where you go with that. We also don't have like a second anti-tank. Like, I always like having a Tyranifex and Zoanthropes, or 2 Tyranifexes, to really allow bird tanks not to spook you out too much. I think Subterranean Assault is like, it's an army where you kind of have to feel out what you need within your meta and your play style. So it's not so much as this needs to do this. It's like, what's your plan? Like what things are jumping out together? And I'm never going to, if people put 2 Carnifexes, an old One Eye, and a Subterranean Assault, I'm not going to delete them because I think that's super cool. However, it does eat up a whole bunch of points. And I think that's kind of putting into the problem, because you're going to have to be leaning on your Carnifexes to be anti-tank, especially if you don't have another anti-tank unit like a second Zoanthrope or second Tyranid squad. So my notes would be like Ozolith is doing, play 5 games with it or something like that, and then go from there. We could also try, so if we did 20, 40. So if we got rid of Tremor Senses, right, and then we downgraded one of these Gargoyles to a Hormigaunt squad, we could change out this Maliceptor for Tyranid. And that would be good. I think that would be sweet. But I also really like Maliceptors too. So I think that would be my knee-jerk reaction. Well, first would be play 5 games with it. See if you like the Carnifex brick. If you love it, you love it. Play it forever, or at least until 11th edition comes out. If not, trade it out, you know? And then what I would do is get rid of Tremor Senses, make one of these Gargoyle squad a Hormigaunt squad, and then upgrade this Maliceptor to a second Rupture Cannon Tyranid. So yeah, let me catch up with chat. There's a whole bunch of people chilling, hanging out. Dude Guy Bro Guy. Excellent name, by the way. I wish I understood the hate for melee warriors. I'm a year in. I have a real bunch of success. 36 dice rolls are fun. Yes, they are so good. I think what people don't like about Tyranid warriors is it's just hard for them to get into combat, right? They do one thing and they do it very well, but it's hard for them to do it because they only move 6, 8-ish with the Winged Prime, right? But I like them too. And I was actually testing out a list where I had 1 Genestealer brick and I had 1 Warrior brick. And that was for like my anti-Catan tech. It was fine. It was pretty good. But you just have to get them into combat. I like them too. 97420 says, I have 3 Lictors, 30-year-old metal ones. They're good in most editions. Absolutely, man. My favorite Lictor, I have a resin one. It's pretty cool. I really like it. And I painted it a while ago. Not much of the list wants to arrive via tunnels, so maybe 2 burrowing units. You know, that's actually a good point too. But I think like the Tyranid getting weird angles in the tunnels is good. And like the Maliceptor arriving in tunnels is good. Like Harspec's good. And the Exocrine. I actually think a lot of this list really likes tunnels. And like the Carnifexes absolutely do. And I think it's more, you want the burrows to be like repeating so that you can do tunnel networks and you can teleport units around the field to get angles that your opponent is not expecting, or angles that, I don't know, are just very difficult to get. But yeah, I could see that too. That's almost exactly the list I'm running. I advise swapping the T-Fex for Zone Squad and fitting the Neurotype. So Toon, you've had some pretty good success with the Zoanthropes. That's pretty sweet. That's awesome. I've had mixed success with the Zoanthropes, honestly. My Biotitan shows up today. Oh my gosh, Royal Magus, if you're not a part of the W&W Discord, please join that Discord so we can see your hobby process. That'd be awesome. Finally able to catch one of your streams. I'm always at work whenever you stream. Sorry, man. Working too much, you know? I don't know. With a decent anti-armor melee threats, I think there's enough anti-tank, even though there's just 1 anti-tank. Yeah, I could see that as well. Again, I think it comes down to play pattern stuff. 5 more Exocrines. What's up, Battle Barn? Good to see you, man. One Metal Screamer killer into a Carnifex. That would be sweet. Tremor Senses is there to be able to strategic reserve. Yeah, I could see that. Tunnels is also highly terrain. A lot of the success 4-1s coming from WTC layout. Yeah, I could see that as well. It'd be interesting. Yeah. It is really good for repositioning Tyranid. Anyone have a Clarence Exocrine? I want to make a Clarence Exocrine, man. That would be sweet. I would put it like, I don't know. Maybe I would just need a camera just for Clarence and we could like go check on. Hankering for more Tyranid videos. Yeah, I got a couple in the works. I was just away at a teams tournament with Kyle. But I think I'll have one cooking Wednesday evening, probably out Thursday or something. talking about the new Prime, talking about Neuro Tyrant. And I want to do a big video like reflecting on the whole edition. Yeah. It is unacceptable. I agree. Okay, our next list is Pajoulrod. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Oh, and everybody, people who were in chat to begin with the stream, they'll know exactly what's happening here. Ready? Okay. And if they weren't here at the beginning of the stream, don't tell them, folks. He says, a list made with things I had at the time that I used to specifically build off of Leviathan box. Knowing what I know now and having access to more things, I know a couple ways I could change the list, but I'd really like to hear others' thoughts on it. Invasion Fleet. Broodlord. Perfectly adapted. Death Leaper. Alien Cunning. I think Alien Cunning is too expensive. It's 30 points. So I think we probably cut Alien Cunning. Swarm Lord. Warlord. Pretty cool. Winged Tyranid Prime. Oh, goodness. Hormagaunts. Termagaunts. Barbagonts. 10-man Gene Stealers. I love these. I think Gene Stealers are probably like my... If I were to look back at the entire edition, I think a 10-man Gene Stealer squad is consistently like the most impressive Tyranid unit for me. Besides like Biovore and Gargoyles, because that's boring. But like, yeah. 11-man Neurogaunts, Neurolictor, Norn Emissary, Psychophage. 3-man Ripper, 1 Screamer Killer, 1 6-man Tyranid Warriors. Who was talking about Tyranid Warriors? Look, they're here. 3-man Von Ryan's Leapers, and 1 6-man Zoanthropes. I think this is good. Like I think there's just we just need more stuff, you know. But I do love your collection already because you're shopping around. You're getting a taste of everything. But I also really like how you aren't doing just like 3-man warriors, you know, or 3-man zoanthropes. You've upgraded and gone directly to the full squad unit to really get the full effect. And I think that's really what you need to do when you're starting. Let's kind of hone in on that. This is a good list. I think a couple of things, I'm going to mark units that probably would end up being cut, like Barbagonts are going to get out of there. I think Psychophage doesn't really have a home. Screamer Killer. And maybe the Von Ryans. I don't know. I think you need one more Lictor at least before Von Ryans. And if you don't have Von Ryans, you can go on a lot of different websites, like Amazon has them. You can try to shop locally or whatever. But just get 50 millimeter bases and like sticky tack your Von Ryans on the 50 millimeter bases and then just call them Lictors. Because most of your opponents are not going to know the difference between a Von Ryans Leapers and a Lictor. You know? So that's what I would do. I would try and just convert these into a Lictor. Like even if you dropped this and just had one Lictor. Screamer Killer and the Psychophage, that's what? 265 points? So you need 15 points. Yeah, so if you drop these three, the Rippers, Psychophage, and Screamer Killer, for 2 Exocrines, I think honestly that would be like a pretty good change. And Cfran asks, where could he get the models to pick up? Wow, what a good segue to talk about our sponsors here at Secondhand Geek. Take a look at this. So we're looking for Exocrines. Let's see if they have any Exocrines. I would honestly be shocked. Ooh, look, every single week I feel like I look at this Tyranid army lot. Don't worry about the price, okay? Don't worry about it. It's here on Secondhand Geek, our sponsor. This is a Tyranid army. After you purchase this, you probably would not need to purchase anything else for Tyranids for almost forever. Yeah, it is 3,000 points. But this is Secondhand Geek. If you're unfamiliar with Secondhand Geek, they're a really good place for you to sell or purchase Warhammer models. I have an affiliate link in the description down below that is conjoined with a Wednesday Night Warhammer. If you would like to support Wednesday Night Warhammer and / me here at Hive Mind Hobby, you can click that link, sign up through Secondhand Geek, and then get yourself a $3,000 Tyranid army lot. I think I agree with you. I think 3K is probably a little bit too much. Tyranids are expensive, but holy guacamole. Anyways. Okay. Pajoulrod, I hope my advice was of good use to you. I do think you're on the right path, right? But I think getting 2 exocrines in your list is going to change your life. You know? I think exocrines are very good. And then I think the walking Hive Tyrant is really kind of nice as well. If you could get rid of the Barbgaunts and get Hormagaunts and then like 1 squad of Gargoyles, that would be good as well. It seems kind of sketchy. Dr. Drake, I will say that I have purchased from Secondhand Geek many times. And I've worked closely with one of the representative. His name's Andrew. He's a good friend of mine, I think. I hope he feels the same way. But if you have any reservations with this site, I can assure you that I have only had really positive experience using it. You know, I haven't sold anything on the site, but I can say that purchasing has been a really good experience for me so far. Anyways, moving on, we have Jacob Crawford, D8P. Says, I've run this list at 3 RTTs and won all 3 with it. It's really dumb. Sweet. Invasion fleet sustained hits almost always. Okay. Cool. We have the Hive Tyrant with the Field No Pain, Gargoyles, Hormagaunts, Biovore, triple Exocrine, triple Maleceptor, 2 Rupture T-Fex, 1 Acid T-Fex, and Neurogons. That seems pretty good. So, like, here's the thing. If you've gone to 3 RTTs and you've won all 3 RTTs with it, it feels like you figured it out, you know, like I feel like you've kind of cracked the code for your local meta, and it seems pretty good, you know. My only thing is I would probably drop like an Exocrine for 2 Lictors, and then you could upgrade these Neurogons to a second squad of Hormagaunts. Like, that's my knee-jerk thing with like the Acid Fex, 2 Rupture Fexes, 3 Maleceptors. I would almost feel like the list, the 3rd Exocrine doesn't add as much value to the list as 2 more squads of scoring would, you know? That's kind of what I would do. But I agree. I think this list is awesome. I love the Monster Mash stuff, and I think Invasion Fleet does it really well. And triple Maleceptors, whew, triple Maleceptor is pretty good. Some people just can't deal with it. It's awesome. But Jacob, I appreciate you submitting your list. I know that's a very quick review, but honestly, if you've won 3 RTTs with it, I would just try dropping 1 Exocrine and then doing 2 more scoring units and see if you like that. But if it's successful, why change it, you know? Vidar Thorsby. Hi, man. I'm doing a tournament 13th of February. This is what I'm playing. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Somebody asked, where can I get in line? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's right. Where can I get in line to submit my mistake of a list? Oh, come on now. I'm sure it's great. So we talked about it a little bit earlier. If you go to Hive Mind Hobbies, of course. Go to the post section. Make sure you're subscribed, you know, and all that cool stuff. Anytime that I post something that says don't put your list here, please don't put your list there. Just because I like to keep them all organized. Scroll down to the post where it says submit your list here. And then just add it into the comments. And what I do is I sort by newest, and then I scroll all the way down to the bottom. If you are a member, you get priority, and I always grab the member list first, just as a thank you. All you have to be is a gargoyle, and then go from there. And then it's usually like every other week, you know, so twice a month, around 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Vidar Thorsby, I Choose You is his list name. I think Old One Eye in the Tunnel is going to be the best list name so far. Anyways, we'll see. That's good too. I like Pokemon. Subterranean Assault, we have a Neurotyrant, we have a Swarmlord, and we have a Trigon Prime. Seems like kind of the mainstay for Subterranean Assault. And no battle line. That means we're slamming stuff on the board, folks. We got a Biovore, 2 Maleceptors, Neurolictor, 3 Raveners, then Tyranifex, Von Ryan's Leapers, and Zoanthropes. So we have 1 Rupture Cannon, 1 Acid Spray. I like that. 1 Rupture Cannon, 1 Acid Spray. Zoanthropes take the slot of like the second anti-tank. That's pretty good. This is good. And I actually really do like an Acid Spray in Subterranean Assault. I just haven't found the points for it, to be honest. But I think it's good because you can just teleport it places and you kill one unit and then you threaten a really spooky Overwatch on another unit. We are light on Lictors, but like you could just swap these Von Ryans for a Neurolictor. I also think Von Ryans have some pretty good use in Subterranean Assault, just like to screen out the mid board and kind of create a space for where your tunnels can land before your opponent is able to get there. Von Ryans move block pretty well, so that's a really good thing to have sometimes in Subterranean Assault, especially if you end up going first. Like you just run your Von Ryans up, create a wall in front of them, say you can't get anywhere, and then turn 2 you can have your stuff come out. I would encourage trying out, we only have a Trigon. Maybe like experimenting dropping one of these Raveners for like another unit that's spooky to jump out of a tunnel, right? Like I don't think you have a whole lot of melee threat here. So if you drop one of these Raveners, try Screamer Killer, pairs well with a Neurolictor. Seems good. I think that's what I would do. I think that's what I would try. I think the 3 Raveners is probably a little bit too much. It's a little bit too redundant. But I really, really like the idea of the Acid Spray alongside Zoanthropes and a Rupture Cannon Tyranifex. So yeah, try dropping 1 Ravener squad for a Screamer Killer. Not a whole lot of screening stuff too, but it could work. So in that case, I probably wouldn't drop the Von Ryans. You could also maybe finagle points for this Maleceptor. Kind of move it around, but I really do love Maleceptors in Subterranean Assault. Yeah, and let us know how the tournament went. I'm sorry I wasn't able to review your list before. Oh, man. We're wrapping up quick, folks. I'm going too fast. This is our last list. Oh, my gosh. I think next time we should do like a chance for me to grab more lists or something, especially if we're speeding along this quick. Anyways, here's Marco Seldo. Vanguard Onslaught, 2,000 points. We have a Swarmlord, 2 Broodlord, a Neurotyrant, Flyrant, 2x10 Hormigons, Biovore, 2x10 Genestealers, 3 Lictors, 2 Neurolictors, 2 Trigons, 1x3 Von Ryan's Leapers. Is that right, Waffle? So I do like this. I don't think it has enough punch, right? Like, did you just triple check Banana Clip and you can move it? I don't think it has enough punch. Like, I like all of these units, but there's going to be like some armies that can just walk at you and you can't do too much. Like I think your only 2 damaging units are the Genestealers, right? I mean, maybe the Flyrant, but make the Gaunts 1 unit for 20-man Hormigons? Possibly. I think we probably actually end up cutting like the Hormigons. So I think Vanguard Onslaught, the core, I've played quite a bit of Vanguard Onslaught too. The core, I think what you need is like Broodlord with Genes times 2, and then like Raveners times 2, so like 20 Raveners, and then 3 Lictors of your own choice. I think 5 Lictors might be too much, and then you can kind of ask, are you bringing Death Leaper? I think Death Leaper is pretty good. And then going from there, I think I'm at the point where I think some type of shooting within Vanguard Onslaught is probably needed. I would say probably 2 exocrines is a good place to go. I have experimented with zoanthropes, like being able to uppy downy them and teleport them around the field. Oftentimes it's too many points, you know? And I also think as the edition has gone on, more and more often I have just not included a Neuro Tyrant in my list, and I've been fine with it. Like, our army rule, I'm sure people can agree, is a little dicey, and it's not necessarily always a good one. And giving an additional -1 can make some rolls very, very, beneficial on your side. However, it also can't. And if you're bringing just the Neuro Tyrant for the Shadow and the Warp buff, I feel like oftentimes you could use its points elsewhere a little bit better. But yeah, Vanguard Onslaught, I've done quite a bit of videos on it. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick. Just make sure that's muted. Seeing one of my first videos on the channel was like 500 points to 2,000 points of Vanguard Onslaught. Let's see. I always try my best not to listen to my own voice. All right, so if we go here, I think this is the list that this is like a list that I took. I think this is my Worlds list, maybe. No, my Worlds list was a little bit different. But I think for Vanguard Onslaught, you have to just put a lot of damage in. But something like this, I think. And if you haven't seen this video, Vanguard Onslaught, 500 to 2,000 points, I'd recommend it. I think it kind of talks a lot about my different damaging choices. See you later, Waffle. Yeah, I think so too, Kyle. But I think I landed on like just Neurogants, and they just screen out way better than Neuro Tyrant. I think my list was like hovering around not really having space for my last Lictor, and then I dropped Neuro Tyrant for Neurogants and then my third Lictor of some kind, and it was really good because then I could screen my backfield and then it was fine. But I think like fitting Hunting Grounds is also pretty sweet as well. But yeah, this is a quick one, folks. I'll go slower next time, or maybe I'll include one or two more. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me. If you like the stream, subscribe to all those cool things. If you would like for your army list to be reviewed, post it in the place that I was talking about before. If you want a little bit of it to be expedited, consider being a member. It supports the channel a lot and allows for your list to be seen the next time we get a stream going. Thank you again, everybody, for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.